Hello, welcome to 6.5 day 2. Today we're talking about properties of logarithms again. Only today we're talking about how to use the properties of logarithms to condense expressions. Yesterday we expanded them, today we're going to condense them, make them smaller. Your properties are the same as yesterday, so if you wrote this down, you're already good to go. The only difference between yesterday and today is that now we're going from our long expanded version, let me pick a color that's not white, to a simplified one. So we're trying to take something that's long and make it small. So again, today we're going to use each of these, but we're going to start with the right side and move to the left for each of them. All right, our first example says 4 of log base 4 of m plus 3 log base 4 of n minus log base 4 of p. Basically what I want to do is I want to work backwards through that list on the previous slide. So essentially I want to see, can I use my power rule first? And then from there I want to try to do my multiplication or my product rule and then my quotient. I guess that's not really backwards because that's not exactly the order they went in, but I do want to look for the power, then the product, then the quotient. All right, so the first thing I notice is that we have a 4 out front and we have a 3 out front, which means we can use the power rule. Remember, you can take that number and it becomes the power on whatever's after your log. So I'm going to have log base 4 of m to the power of 4 plus log base 4 of n to the power of 3 minus log base 4 of p. Now the next thing I notice is these two have a plus in between them. Remember, if you're adding logs, that's the same as using your product rule. So I can rewrite that as log base 4 of m to the power of 4 times n to the power of 3. Again, you're just going to multiply whatever is after your logs. We still have that second half minus log base 4 of p. Now the last thing I'm going to look for is the quotient rule. Remember, we can use the quotient rule if there's a subtraction sign in the middle, and that means that we're going to make it a fraction. The first part is going to go on top, the second part will go on bottom. So I have log base 4 of m to the power of 4 n cubed, all divided by p. Again, we're just working backwards from what we did yesterday to simplify our equation and condense it down. We can do the same thing with natural logs. So my next problem says 3 natural log of 2 minus 2 natural log of 5. Again, I'm going to start by looking for my power rule. So I notice I have a 3 out front, so that can become a power. And I have a 2 out front, so that can become a power. So I really have the natural log of 2 to the power of 3 minus the natural log of 5 to the power of 2. Now I don't have any addition, so I can't use the product property, but I do have a minus. And that subtraction sign tells me that I can use the quotient property, so I can make it a fraction. So I can do the natural log of 2 to the power of 3 divided by 5 squared. Now if you want to simplify it, I would probably leave it like that. You could call it the natural log of 8 over 25. I would take either of those as your final answer. And then our next one says 5 log base 2 of c minus 7 log base 2 of n. Again, I'm looking for my numbers out front to become products, or powers, excuse me. So we have 5 and we have a 7. So I'm going to have log base 2 of c to the power of 5 minus log base 2 of n to the power of 7. Again, then I have a subtraction sign in between, which tells me to do a quotient, make it a fraction. So we have log base 2 of the first thing, c to the power of 5, divided by the second one, n to the power of 7. Again, it's condensed, and this will be my final answer. And the last one, we have 2 times the natural log of 7 plus the natural log of 2. Again, I notice that 2 out front, which means I can turn it into a power. So I'm going to have natural log of 7 squared plus the natural log of 2. These are multiplying, so I'm going to, well, they're adding, which means we can do the multiplication property or the product property. So I can do the natural log of 7 squared times 2. And again, I would leave your answer like that just for the sake of being able to write it the opposite direction if you wanted to. All right, that is all I have for you today. Thank you for watching. Please go on and answer your questions about the notes. and then you can go ahead and start your homework. Again, if you have questions about this, if you need help, please reach out to your teacher sooner rather than later.